Peace be with you. The purpose of religion, the purpose of revelations of God is to change us, to make us become something higher and better than what we used to be. When I was an atheist, I was a despicable human being. I know that because I know myself. When I became a Muslim, I didn't become perfect. I certainly am trying, but I know I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes, but I certainly am different. I am 98% different from what I used to be, and I know I am better because I know myself now, and I knew myself then. That is the purpose of Islam. If you act like the disbelievers act, if you follow your desires and you have no emotional control, if you don't stand for justice and truth, if you are not trying 100% of the time, then what is the point of your label? What is the point of you calling yourself a Muslim? Are you really a Muslim? That's up to you, and that is up to Allah. I'm not going to speak to anyone directly, but in broader terms, if I were to still use drugs, but tell you I am no longer an addict, would you recognize that as truth? If I was to go around robbing people, but tell you that I am a law-abiding citizen, would you recognize that as truth? So why would you recognize it as truth when someone walks into disobedience to Allah, in disobedience to God, as a pattern of their life, not an occasional mistake, but as a pattern of their daily life, and yet they claim to be a Muslim? Why would you recognize them as a Muslim? Why would you recognize yourself as a Muslim if you are walking in disobedience to Allah? If you wouldn't recognize yourself as clean, if you're still doing drugs, and if you wouldn't recognize yourself as law-abiding, if you were still robbing people, then why would you recognize yourself as a Muslim if your daily pattern of life is that of a fasiq, of a person that is defiantly disobedient to God? Remember that God told Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the rest of us, have you seen him who takes his desires as his God? Are you going to be his advocate? No. If your desires are your God, if you do what you feel like doing, what you yearn after, if you are disobeying God in order to get what you want, then God is not your God at this time. It is your desires. And even though you call yourself a Muslim, the definition doesn't fit. The word does not fit. So remember that. And I know these words are not pleasant to hear. I could be one of those that sits here and tell you how great you're doing, because we all want that. This is why hypocrites will stand on most pulpits. The hypocrites will tell you that you're doing good just because you carry a label and you give them money. They will tell you you're doing great. But that is not the right thing. Remember that the most hated people throughout history are the prophets. They hated Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him. They hated Prophet Lut, peace be upon him. They hated Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They hated Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. Why did they hate them? Most of their people hated them. Why? Because they told them the truth. Because they told them that your labels mean nothing. Because they told them that they are wicked. Because they told them that they need to change. And this is what being a Muslim is all about. If I did not make a change from when I was a disbeliever to when I was a Muslim in my behavior, if I didn't make that change, then nothing would be different about me than that I now lie and hide my actions behind God. Nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect. But the difference between Islam and nifaq, Islam and disbelief, is effort. It truly is effort. And what we truly believe reflects on our behavior. Peace be with you.